The unthinkable has happened. Marcelo and Leticia have been kicked off the show after producers finally reached their breaking point. But what led to this shocking turn of events? Was it personal conflict, behind-the-scenes drama, or something even more sinister? In this video, we're diving deep into the real reasons behind their explosive firing, the details they don't want you to know, and what this means for their future in reality TV. Buckle up, because the truth is far more shocking than you could ever imagine. The world of reality television is no stranger to twists and turns, but what just happened to Marcelo and Leticia has sent shockwaves through the fan base. For months, viewers have followed their marriage, their business ventures, and their rocky relationships with other cast members. They've been central figures, navigating personal and professional drama under the public eye. But recently, things took a dark turn. Rumors have been swirling that producers, usually the puppeteers behind on-screen drama, have finally had enough. According to sources, Marcelo and Leticia were removed from the show after crossing a line that couldn't be ignored. What could have possibly led to such a drastic decision? In this video, we'll break down the events that led to their removal. What did the producers find out? How much did Marcelo and Leticia's personal issues influence the decision? And most importantly, what happens next? Stay tuned for all the exclusive details the network doesn't want you to hear. Behind-the-scenes stories and insider whispers have revealed the power struggles, betrayals, and explosive drama that led to the biggest shakeup in the show's history. Stay tuned. This story is far from over. Marcelo and Leticia's rise to fame on reality TV didn't happen by chance. They burst onto the scene as a dynamic couple, successful, driven, and seemingly tailor-made for the spotlight. Their story was captivating. Marcelo, the ambitious entrepreneur with a sharp business mind, and Leticia, his equally determined wife, balancing her career, family, and the intense pressure of life in the public eye. But like many reality stars, their picture-perfect image hid deep cracks. From the beginning, viewers sensed underlying tension between the two, even as they tried to present a united front. While there were moments of genuine laughter and connection, subtle signs of strain occasionally broke through the surface. Whether it was disagreements about their marriage or the heavy scrutiny that came with being on camera, one thing was clear. They weren't as invincible as they appeared. First, this tension worked in their favor. The audience became invested in their journey, their highs, their lows, their professional victories, and personal battles. After all, that kind of emotional roller coaster is the heartbeat of reality TV. But what happens when the cameras stop rolling and the line between reality and performance blurs too much? This is where everything began to unravel. The show's fan base grew more obsessed with Mauro and Leticia, so did the intensity of their off-camera struggles. While viewers speculated about minor spats, what was happening behind closed doors was far more alarming. The dynamic that once made them fan favorites had begun to evolve into something much darker. Reality TV thrives on drama, but there's a limit. And once that line is crossed, things can spiral quickly out of control. Insiders began noticing troubling signs. Producers and crew members witnessed moments that weren't scripted, raw, emotional outbursts that didn't make the final cut. The tension between Marcelo and Leticia was no longer just for show. The cracks in their relationship weren't just visible on screen. They were affecting the production environment itself. Reality TV is known to be somewhat staged, but it's still a carefully controlled ecosystem. When cast members start losing that boundary between real conflict and scripted tension, it becomes less about entertainment and more about damage control. And that's exactly where things went wrong. There were growing whispers among the crew. Leticia's intense personality was clashing with production, while Marcelo was allegedly trying to manipulate how their storylines were portrayed. What was once a strategic way to build their on-screen personas began to feel like a real power struggle. Their personal issues started spilling into scenes, into meetings, and into the atmosphere on set. Producers are experts at handling egos, steering drama, and turning chaos into ratings gold. But even they have limits. When conflict begins to disrupt filming and create a toxic work environment, decisions have to be made. Marcelo and Leticia reportedly crossed that line. Still, many are asking, was it just the growing tension and personal issues that led to their sudden exit? Or was there something even deeper, something more calculated. According to insider sources, a behind-the-scenes betrayal may have sealed their fate. Allegations have surfaced of broken agreements, leaked information, and attempts to undermine the production itself. If true, these actions would have given the producers no choice but to cut ties completely. As the off-camera drama reached a boiling point, it became clear that this wasn't just about ratings anymore. It was about control, trust, and preserving the integrity of the show. Marcelo and Letitia, once stars of the screen, had become liabilities behind it. What happens next for the controversial couple? Can they recover from this fall from grace? Or is this the end of their reality TV reign? Stay with us, because the real story is just beginning. Disturbing revelations have recently come to light about Marsau's alleged secret dealings with another production company. While Marsau and Letitia were publicly struggling with their relationship on the show, Marsau was reportedly making moves behind the scenes that could change the game entirely. Sources close to the production team have suggested that Marsau was in talks with a competing reality TV network, exploring the possibility of launching a spin-off, or even leaving the current show altogether. If true, this would be a massive betrayal, not only to his wife, but also to the producers who had heavily invested in their narrative. In the world of reality television, it's about more than just playing a part. It's about loyalty, protecting your brand, and knowing how to navigate the politics of fame. Marsau's alleged negotiations with a rival network were seen as a direct challenge to the showrunners, something that doesn't go unnoticed in an industry where careers are made and broken by a single decision. The potential shift didn't just threaten his personal and professional ties with the production team, it also put the show's ratings and storyline continuity at risk. Producers reportedly took a hard stance when rumors of Marsau's secret dealings began to circulate. Initially, no one could confirm whether the whispers were true. Was Marsau really planning to leave? Could he be brokering a deal with a competing network right under everyone's nose? The speculation continued to build, until a leaked email confirmed that Marsau had, in fact, been negotiating with another production team. That single revelation set off a chain of events that created intense tension, not only between Marsau and Letitia, but also between the couple and the show's creators. But the betrayal didn't stop there. It soon emerged that Letitia may have known more than she was letting on. Her involvement could have played a critical role in what would ultimately become Marsau's exit from the show. Was she complicit in the secret deal? And what does this mean for the future of their relationship, both on and off camera? As the truth started to unravel, Letitia was swept into a whirlwind of emotions and high-stakes decisions that no one saw coming. Outwardly, she appeared to be fully invested in both their marriage and their shared success on reality TV. But with the email leak and growing tension behind the scenes, new questions emerged. Was Letitia truly blindsided by her husband's actions, or did she know exactly what he was doing behind closed doors? At first, her reaction was that of a loyal wife, shocked and hurt by the betrayal. She seemed genuinely stunned as the rumors about Marsau's plans began circulating. However, her carefully measured response left many fans and insiders wondering whether she was hiding something. Was her shock real, or was it part of a calculated effort to protect her own image? Some insiders claim that Letitia, fully aware of how power dynamics work in the world of reality television, may have strategically allowed Marsau's plans to play out. Perhaps she saw the situation as an opportunity to reshape her public persona and gain more control over her own narrative. For years, Letitia had been cast in the role of the supportive wife, loving, dependable, and always standing by her man. But with the tables turning, she may have seen a chance to step into the spotlight on her own terms. Could it be that Letitia was silently complicit, using Marsau's betrayal as a stepping stone to launch herself into the next phase of her career? After all, reality TV is a business, and sometimes the line between personal and professional is razor thin. According to several behind-the-scenes sources, Letitia had long expressed a desire for more creative control and visibility. Moving to a new network might have provided her the platform she was craving, but she couldn't be seen as the one initiating the split. The public fallout added another layer of complexity. Letitia, now forced to defend her marriage in the media while managing her own reputation, was caught in an impossible situation. If she seemed too forgiving, fans might think she condoned Marsau's betrayal. But if she came across as too angry or emotional, she risked appearing bitter or naive. Striking the right tone was crucial. Every word she spoke in interviews was picked apart by producers, fans, and media analysts alike. Then, just when things couldn't get messier, Letitia's closest friends began speaking out, sharing details that caught everyone off guard. Was Letitia planning her own departure from the show all along? Or was she subtly undermining Marsau's future to boost her own? The truth, it seems, may be more shocking than anyone expected. As the off-camera drama reached a boiling point, the lines between truth and manipulation blurred. Were Marsau and Letitia co-conspirators in a master plan to exit the show on their own terms? Or were they just two individuals being pulled apart by fame, ambition, and betrayal? Stay tuned. The scandal is far from over, and what comes next could change everything. Letitia's emotional struggles, combined with Marsau's betrayal, created a toxic atmosphere on set that was beginning to affect more than just their marriage. It was disrupting the entire production. Although the producers thrived on conflict, the tension between the couple had crossed a line. What had started as a calculated attempt at creating compelling drama was quickly spiraling into something unsustainable. The breaking point came when Marsau and Letitia were called into a closed-door meeting with the producers. What was meant to be a routine check-in quickly turned into a confrontation that no one saw coming. According to sources, the producers voiced serious concerns about the couple's behavior, both on and off camera. They made it clear, the drama was no longer entertaining. It was becoming disruptive and unprofessional. For a reality show to succeed, cast members need to play their roles with a certain level of commitment. They're expected to open up, generate authentic conflict, and consistently contribute to the weekly narrative. But Marsau and Letitia had stopped being just characters. They had become liabilities. Their real-life problems had begun to overshadow the very storyline they were supposed to drive. And that made the producers nervous. The heart of the issue was a growing concern about the authenticity of their conflict. Was it real? Or was it becoming too scripted? Reality TV relies on a delicate balance. Drama that feels real, even when it's not. If viewers started to sense that Marsau and Letitia were manufacturing chaos for the cameras, it could threaten the credibility of the entire show. Behind the scenes, producers had been debating what to do. Some believed there was still hope, that Marsau and Letitia could reignite their chemistry and reclaim their place in the storyline. But others argued that the relationship had become too toxic to salvage. What had once been a fan-favorite couple now felt forced and unnatural. The real turning point came when a producer, speaking off the record, admitted that the couple's constant bickering and erratic behavior had alienated not only the production team, but also the rest of the cast. The question was no longer whether to keep them on the show, it was whether the show could survive with them still in it. Despite the mounting issues, Marsau and Letitia refused to back down. They pushed back, unwilling to relinquish their roles. But the producers had seen enough. In a final meeting, the decision was made. The couple was being removed from the show. This wasn't just about a broken marriage or secret betrayals. It was about protecting the integrity and longevity of the series. With ratings at stake and the rest of the cast growing increasingly frustrated, the producers knew that Marsau and Letitia's exit wasn't just necessary, it was inevitable. But the most shocking part of Marsau and Letitia's ousting wasn't the removal itself. It was the aftermath. How would this decision impact the rest of the cast? And what role did the other cast members play in pushing for their exit? The truth is, their departure may have triggered a chain reaction that changed everything. Stick around as we uncover the hidden motivations behind the producer's decision and how it's affecting the future of the show. When Marsau and Letitia were officially removed from the series, the fallout was immediate and far-reaching. In reality television, removing a key player always comes with consequences, and this time, the drama didn't stop once the cameras turned off. In fact, their controversial departure only fueled further speculation, sparking a ripple effect across the cast, the fan base, and the show's direction. The cast's reaction news of Marsau and Letitia's exit spread quickly, and the cast's reactions were telling. While a few expressed sympathy, others were quietly relieved. Many had grown increasingly uncomfortable with the couple's constant tension, which had started to bleed into the group dynamic and disrupt filming. Some insiders revealed that Marsau and Letitia had isolated themselves long before the producers stepped in. Their frequent arguments and volatile relationship had created a divide among the cast. Several members had already begun distancing themselves, not just for professional reasons, but to protect their own mental and emotional well-being. Behind the scenes, conversations were heated. There were clear divides among the cast over how to handle the situation. Some attempted to mediate and offer support, hoping to restore peace. Others wanted nothing to do with the escalating drama, fearing that continued involvement could jeopardize their own roles on the show. Fans react with shock and outrage, but perhaps the most explosive reactions came from the fans. Social media lit up with a storm of mixed opinions. Some viewers were devastated, arguing that Marsau and Letitia had been unfairly targeted. One Twitter user wrote, "They made it real, and now the producers are throwing them away just for ratings." Others, however, had a different take. Many felt the couple's exit was long overdue. Finally, Marsau and Letitia have been nothing but trouble. One fan tweeted, "They were hogging all the screen time with the same tired issues." The fanbase was clearly split, just like the cast. For some, the departure marked the end of an iconic chapter. For others, it was the fresh start the show desperately needed. Either way, one thing was clear. The impact of their removal would be felt long after the credits rolled. While the producers hoped that removing Marsau and Letitia would allow the show to move forward in a healthier direction, no one could deny that their exit left a hole in the heart of the series. For better or worse, the couple had become the face of the drama. Without them, the show was forced to recalibrate and redefine its identity. The media coverage, a double-edged sword in the days following the announcement. Media outlets across the entertainment industry picked up the story. Headlines ranged from scandalous tabloid fodder to in-depth think pieces. Some focused on the controversy of their ousting, diving into the rumors surrounding Marsau's alleged secret business dealings and Letitia's possible complicity. Others questioned the show's future and whether it could survive without its most controversial couple. The attention was a double-edged sword for the producers. While the buzz brought in fresh interest and new viewers, it also cast an unwelcome shadow over the remaining cast. With each new article, the pressure mounted. Could the show maintain momentum without Marsau and Letitia? And perhaps more importantly, what really led to their removal? A deeper story begins to emerge. Though the producers and cast publicly stood by the decision to remove the couple, there was growing suspicion that not everything had been disclosed. As speculation swirled online and social media exploded with opinions, whispers from insiders began to reveal a much more complicated reality, one that extended far beyond relationship drama or on-screen conflict. Sources close to production started leaking information about the internal discussions that led to the couple's exit. The consensus? Marsau and Letitia hadn't just become difficult. They had become nearly impossible to control in the high-stakes world of reality television. Cast members are expected to follow the direction of producers, ensuring that storylines remain consistent, compelling, and easy to shape. But according to insiders, Marsau and Letitia had grown increasingly defiant, unpredictable, and uncooperative. Marsau's questionable business ventures, one of the more explosive rumors to surface after their departure, involved Marsau's business dealings. Known for flaunting his entrepreneurial success, Marsau had long presented himself as a savvy businessman. However, sources began to claim that some of his ventures were more controversial than the show had ever revealed. Whispers of questionable financial practices and shady partnerships began gaining traction. According to some insiders, Marsau had aligned himself with individuals and companies that had less than stellar reputations. Some of these associations were considered risky, possibly even legally dubious, and producers were concerned that his off-screen ventures could tarnish the show's brand. Could this have been the final straw for a production team already exhausted by Marsau's resistance to their narrative? Many believe so. Letitia's role in the fallout. Letitia also became a focal point, though for different reasons. While she remained passionate about the show and delivered strong on-screen moments, there were growing concerns about her behind-the-scenes relationships. Some insiders alleged that her close connections with certain producers created an atmosphere of favoritism, leading to rising tension among cast members. Others suggested that Letitia's personal alliances may have shielded her from earlier consequences, sparking resentment and division within the group. It was becoming clear that her presence, once seen as a stabilizing force, had started to polarize the production. Ultimately, the producers decided enough was enough. Between Marsau's risky business affiliations and Letitia's entanglements with production staff, the decision was made to remove both from the series. The show's future, a strategic rebuild in the days following their departure, it became evident that the producers weren't just reacting to internal drama. They were making a strategic move to rebuild the show from the ground up. While the loss of Marsau and Letitia was undoubtedly a major blow, it also presented a rare opportunity to reset the tone of the series. Behind closed doors, casting agents were already working to find fresh, less controversial faces, personalities who would cooperate with producers and follow the storyline without pushing back. There was growing speculation that the producers had grown tired of managing Marsau and Letitia's unpredictability and wanted cast members who were easier to manage, those who understood the balance between drama and control. But even with this new direction, one question loomed large. What kind of long-term impact would Marsau and Letitia's departure have on the show's reputation? Would viewers still tune in without the explosive energy and unpredictable moments that the couple consistently delivered? Or would the absence of that high-stakes drama mark the beginning of a decline in interest? Only time would tell. But one thing was certain, reality television would never be the same without them.